Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here as we continue on the first season of the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series, getting ready for race number 19 as we are in the portion of the season known as the chase towards the chase for the championship, getting one step closer to determining the 16 drivers that will battle it out in this season's playoffs. Why is my Discord going off?
What is it going off?
Oh. I was getting called by somebody. Okay. Apologies for that. Professionalism! This race brought to you by Levi McIntire's Discord call. Anyway, as you can hear, I'm being joined in the booth here today by Mr. Michael Norman. And Michael, we are here running the 20...
Chickens!
Yes, chickens indeed. It's never a race without Michael's chickens. That sounded like a very strange sentence.
I'm getting a serious case of deja vu.
I am too. This is not the second time that we recorded this race. They did not totally kill each other out of turn 4 multiple times. Anyway, as we
and I'm not starting second for the second time today.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. I mean, it's moving on. We are getting ready for 53 laps of racing here at New Hampshire. Last week we were at Chicago Motor Speedway, which only had 6 degrees of banking in the turns. I don't think we have much more here in New Hampshire.
Was that the IndyCar track, or is that the other one?
If it's the one that was in Cicero.
Okay, so it's not Chicagoland.
No,
but it's the other one.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So, as we get ready for 53 laps of racing, Benjamin Miles lines up on the pole for this one. It's his 3rd pole of the season. But I'm certain he'd like wins better than Pole. Shut up! We weren't supposed to know that. He'll start alongside of a race car as we get the command to fire up the engines here. And let's take a look at our playoff standings coming into today's race and a couple of notable changes. Of course, J Millz with the win last week at Chicago Motor Speedway, his 2nd of the season, jumps up to the 3rd seed behind William Brock and Jordan Lopez. And J Quail last week made his way up into the top 30 in points, so his Dover win currently has him in the playoff grid. But I think the thing that really stands out is the fact that a couple weeks ago, there were 4 drivers in the playoffs that didn't have a win, that were in via points. Now we're down to only 2.
Yep. That's just how racing goes. You know, you go from having a lot of open spots to just now it's dwindling down as it gets closer and closer. These drivers that have 1 win but are pretty low in the standings are they're definitely going to have to step it up so they can try to lock in their spot for the chase coming up here.
Well, J Quail is 30th in points coming into this race, so he needs to stay in the top 30 to stay in that playoff grid. J Shelly comes into this race 32nd, our Kentucky winner. He is 19 points out of 30th, and Benjamin Miles 31st in the point standing, so if he got a win, he could probably move into the playoff grid. As the green flag's in the air, let's roll at New Hampshire!
Again, weird.
It's not weird, it's a catchphrase.
So I figured out what that person that called you wanted.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
And what exactly was that?
He wants to do the same thing we're doing right now.
I kind of had that feeling. Michael Norman with a challenge to the inside on Benjamin Miles. Now, Michael Norman, you'll have noticed in that playoff grid, is not currently in one of the 16 spots, and he has been for the last couple of weeks. That's due to J Quail jumping up into the top 30 in points. So Michael Norman, this team definitely feeling the pressure, needing to find victory lane now.
Yep. He was going for the lead. Now he's stuck on the outside lane. I believe the outside lane gets a good run off the corners here.
You saw right there, he was able to hold off M Haas for the 2nd position. M Haas now drops back to 3rd. Chris Dollerton around the outside, taking 4th place from Seth Cole. And Chris Dollerton has been maybe one of 3 drivers that has been maybe the hottest as far as good finishes in the last couple of weeks. I mean, when you consider about 6 weeks ago, this was a car outside the top 30 in points. He got the win at Fuel Motorsports Park. Now he finds himself coming to this race 21st in the point standings.
Oh, got to find a way to work. Try to find a way to work yourself up the standings. Good finishes. You know, anything bad is definitely gonna hurt them as they're going 3 wide here off of turn number 4 here. Really leaning on each other.
Yeah, they were. That was Keith Batson, Seth Cole, and Ryan Brommer. William Brock was in a 3-wide situation as well. They settled it out to double wide, but they're still 3 wide as now Trent Dunham's on the bottom with Seth Cole in the middle.
Like I said, gotta find your spots when you can. It's difficult to pass here, especially with the outside lane getting a good run. But man, you really gotta watch out for the car in front of you.
See William Brock up there on the top side comes into this race, the overall points leader. If we're following that battle, he comes in 17 points ahead of Zach Rogers, 18 points ahead of Levi McIntire. They're really the only 3 battling for that overall points lead currently. Looks like they'll finally settle it out to double wide. Drop a little bit further back. There's Matthew Rodriguez, 16th in the playoff grid. Still looking for his first victory. He's up to the 13th position, side by side with Ryan Acosta.
Yeah, as they're coming off of turn 4 again here down the front straightaway. Matthew Rodriguez, he wasn't leading before or anything like that.
No. I suffer. We're like Dory. We suffer from short-term memory loss. That never existed.
Breaking the 4th wall again. At this point in the race, the first time we tried recording this,
we already had like caution.
Yep, we already had like 3 cautions.
3rd caution and had what, 4 flips or something like that. So yeah, it never happened.
Yep, never happened.
Looking at Ryan.
We're pulling a Vince McMahon here.
We are. Looking at Ryan Butcher, 2 weeks ago he was almost inside the top 10 in points. Now he's 17th in the standings, our winner from Pensacola Road Course. And wow, they are getting racy up here towards the top 10.
Pensacola Road Course?
Yes, sir.
How far ahead are you? I don't remember seeing any of those races.
This is race 19, so you do the math.
Hold on, this means I have to now go look and see what was the last race you posted.
I wouldn't go looking at anything because Michael Norman is right on the back bumper of the 25 car.
Rigged. No, I'm just kidding.
Now, the interesting thing that there's going to be here in this race, you know, we saw early on that outside line gets a really good run. So these drivers here, you got to wonder, can they maybe get to the outside of someone to pass for the lead, or will they have to try and use that inside line, which has not proved to be the fastest way around so far?
Well, if they can get a good run off of the corner and drag race with them down into the turn, it might be possible. You know, the 3 car, he's just going to have to dive it into the corner and walk up the racetrack and not really wreck the 25, but, you know, maybe move him out of the way as well.
He's going to try it. Here he goes. Tries it in turn 3. He's going to have to try and get back to the throttle sooner than Benjamin Miles, or at least stay to the left rear quarter panel off of turn 4. Can't do it.
He started to. I saw that. He got in the gas, but he couldn't hold it.
Now Matt Haas going to challenge for 2nd place. We'll see if Matt Haas can get the inside line going. He'll get a little bit of an advantage off turn 2, but they still remain side by side down the back straightaway. And
well, so you're recording 8 races ahead of time here, because I see the last race you posted was race number 11.
Yes, and aside from the fact that you have access to my channel and could watch all the other videos that are unlisted, we're under caution for the first time today.
GC, you're in the middle of a conversation and a caution comes out.
I almost said we were under caution for the 4th time today, but again, that first race never existed.
Yep. So well, we made it 11 laps this time.
Yes, we did. We made it 11 laps before our first caution.
Last time, we didn't even make it 1.
No, we didn't. So the caution's out for the first time, and Vince Almriego, the 42 on pit road, looks like he's got some damage. So a driver that has really been struggling as of late, really since Pensacola Road Course. He's going to be off the pace. Johnny Gardner got some damage there on the left side of his Detroit Genuine Auto Parts Ford Mustang. Of course,
nobody seems to be running into the back of anybody, so that's good.
No, that's good too. Yes. I think Gardner almost won at Phoenix, but was 2 laps short on fuel. And do they pit? Well, William Brock is a lonely man. But this is interesting.
Yeah, that could come back and help him.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is interesting. He's got 2 victories already this season. He's pretty much going to lock himself up into the playoffs, I would think, because he comes into this race the overall points leader as well. So why not gamble and go off the pit sequence of everybody else?
Exactly.
A couple more coming down pit road. T Wright, Benny Watson, Wyatt Quail, rather. Also, Zach Rogers and I think J Gardner also hitting pit road. Gardner, I'm pretty sure, is on pit road to repair damage. So Benjamin Miles leads us under the first caution. Let's go back and see what happened. Here's a look at what happened going into turn 3.
Boom, it's gone.
Oh, shut up. This is for around the 33rd position.
Battling for 33rd place, guys.
It's kind of like FTF lights. Yep, I definitely went there. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if the 42 slid up or if Carter Friesen just hooked Vince Almriego in the right rear, but whatever.
Carter Friesen, basically, if you think about it the way he did, took out the 42, but he also took out J Gardner, too.
Yes, he did.
Wow, Carter.
Well, Carter says, I'm a Daytona 500 winner. I could do what I want. But that's what brought out the caution. It's kind of tough to see from that angle just exactly who initiated the contact, but Friesen, Almriego, and Gardner all getting damage from it.
Well, why don't you look at it from the helicopter angle then?
You know what? I just might do that. Take a look and see. That's why he's in the co-commentator's booth.
What do you want? Some kind of rush?
Let's see. Oh yeah, that was all the 37. Yeah, Almriego held his line. Friesen drove it in deep into the corner and just got into the right rear.
And then smacked him back up into the wall as an exclamation point.
You stay in that wall, good sir. So that is what brought out the caution. Michael, believe it or not, nobody flipped. Anyway, that race never happened.
I know,
Let's go back for the green flag.
Let's go.
One driver out of the race. That is Vince Almriego. Honestly,
wow, that's a big change from the last race that didn't happen.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
we're 14 laps in. This was about the time we decided, hey, let's redo this because half of the field was gone.
Redo what?
Oh, that's right, it didn't happen.
Exactly. Anyway,
I just realized you only have 40 cars. Why don't you have 42?
Because reasons.
Literally, and the whole time I've watched this series, I've just now noticed you only had 40 cars.
Anyways, we get ready to go back green on lap 15 of 53. Benjamin Miles will be the leader. Michael Norman second. Matt Haas third. Fourth is J Qualls. He actually worked his way up into the top 5. I think he was outside of, or just inside the top 10. So that's a fast race car passing some people here under that last green flag run. Dollerton lines up 5th. Then it's R Brommer, Jordan Lopez, Trent Dunham, Ryan Butcher, and Keith Batson as the green flag is back in the air.
Green, green, green.
Was that a Kermit the Frog attempt?
I am Kermit the Frog here.
Anyway, I don't have anything to say about
Hello,
that.
I am the mascot for Blame Shelly Insurance.
Okay, now that really creeps me out. Hey, while we talk about Blame Shelly Insurance, let's drop back and see where Shelly's running. There he is. James Shelly right now in the 20th position, and the drivers that he needs to basically finish ahead of in order to get back in the top 30 in points would be Wyatt Quail, Vince Almriego, or Matt Haas. Well, Almriego's out of the race, so he's got a shot now.
Yes, he does. It's especially going to be on the inside lane.
Matthew Rodriguez there trying to drive around the outside of Carson Gunn. That's for about the 13th position. Further up front, Ryan Butcher trying to challenge Trent Dunham, who's now the lone Sega Motorsports Chevrolet in the field after the departure of his teammate.
Something else I've noticed, too, under that caution, they did not pit.
No, they did not. As a matter of fact, I want to watch this battle up here real quickly. Oh, wait, Zach Rogers coming off pit road. That, I would think, would be an unscheduled stop for the 6.
It's possible. Qualls trying to get underneath the 8 car here. And look at Norman doing a dive it off into the... again, but probably not be able to keep it as he comes through the turns here.
Let's see if he can keep it there alongside. Nope, not quite. Qualls was able to keep it alongside Matt Haas, though, so he might have a run coming out of turn 2 to maybe take the 3rd position. Like I said, when we had our initial first green flag run, Qualls fought his way up into the top 5, so he's definitely figured out how to make passes here. Oh, Michael Norman, I think there was almost a bump and run there. I think he got into the back of the 25. He's getting a little bit frustrated.
Yeah, I can imagine being behind Benjamin Miles there. Norman knows he has a faster car, but the outside lane is the lane to be in, and you see him drive about a half a lane a little bit higher than the 25 and through turn 1.
Now, I wanted to wait until this battle for the lead settled down because I wanted to go back. Remember, the first car that came to pit road under that caution was William Brock in the 88. Now, where is he at? There he is. He's in the 29th position. So the question is, when these drivers came to pit road, was the window open for them to pit and make it the rest of the way? Or will William Brock have to come to pit road at least one more time as well?
Well, depending on how long the pit window is, I would have to assume he'd probably have to come down again. But we'll see.
Just up ahead, his teammate out of Northeast Motorsports, Austin LaPlante. This is his home track. Right now, he's in the 26th position. And there is last week's winner, Jose Millz, trying to get himself up there closer to the front as he's trying to keep himself now in the top 30 in points. And yeah, Zach Rogers, I don't know if there was a regularly scheduled stop or not, but he is a lap down now in the 38th position. The only thing I'm wondering is when he pitted, would that pit stop have put him good to go on fuel? He might be able to stay out the rest of this race when everybody else has to pit.
We'll definitely have to see.
Battles on for 5th. R Brommer, the Dodge Challenger, around the Ford Mustang of Chris Dollerton.
On the outside lane, nonetheless.
Yeah, that outside line's got a really good run, especially on exit, I've noticed. Seems like when you're down that inside line, you have to lift a little bit to get off the corner. There's another of our 2-time winners, Jordan Lopez.
Trent Dunham.
Point standings. It's like Lopez will get the spot. That was 7th from Trent.
Trent's been on a slump as of late, I've noticed.
Yeah,
in all NR 2003 series. I don't remember the last time he's won a race.
Yeah, he hasn't won a race yet this season. He's not doing that badly in points, though. He's 19th in the points coming into this race. I remember he's had some pretty good runs, especially here in the second half of the regular season, but just hasn't quite been able to close the deal. And I think another driver that fits that criteria is Keith Batson. A couple of weeks ago, I thought he was going to be the winner at Kansas, but he couldn't make it on fuel. And then last week, he had a pretty decent run at Chicago Motor Speedway. But, I mean, it's kind of like he's got one of the top 5 strongest cars. He just can't close the deal every week.
Ooh, I didn't know the game was out. Yeah.
Almost 3 wide. Keith Batson thought about it. Up front, got a battle. Michael Norman's going to try again.
It looks like he might.
I think there was contact. I think Norman might have gotten into Benjamin Miles' left rear. James Qualls behind him on that inside line now as it's a battle for 2nd and a battle for 4th. And again, we're still waiting to see when these drivers are going to have to hit pit road.
Yep. This is exactly what Benjamin Miles wants to see. These cars racing side by side.
M Haas going to move into 2nd, 3 wide for 3rd. James Qualls on the bottom, Norman in the middle. Almost contact there as Brommer on the outside will move to the 3rd position. And look at Michael Norman blocking Chris Dollerton. So now, there's a new hunter on the bumper of the 25. M Haas in the 8. Miles 31st in the points coming to this race. M Haas not that much better. 28th in points coming into this one.
Norman probably used up some of his tires trying to get around the 25. He's probably looking forward to this pit stop coming up here soon.
You know, another thing about this pit stop that could be very interesting, the pressure on the pit crews, because I'm looking at everybody here trying to make passes. Saw Norman making those multiple attempts to pass the 25. Maybe the way you're going to pass the 25 is on pit road.
Yeah, that's very much possible.
Whoa, wait a minute, Miles. Oh, no, he's coming to pit road. I thought maybe Matt Haas was getting a run around the outside, but Miles is giving up the lead. He's coming to pit road. This is just around the halfway point, so they should be good to go on fuel on just this pit stop. And now we're going to see who rolls the dice, who stays out a little bit longer to try and see if they can gain some track position.
Let's see. Battle for the lead, the 8 and the 9 and the 3. 9 car's able to stay side by side with him.
I think he's pitting, though, as is the 8 of Matt Haas. So they're going to come to pit lane. That turns the race lead over, I believe, to Michael Norman. So Michael Norman, all he needed was the 25 to pit, and now he's out in front.
Yeah, but he still has a pit stop to make, too. He's got J Dollerton right behind him.
J Qualls also stayed out, as did M McIntire, Carson Gum. So we'll have to basically see between the 25, the 8, and the 3. 25 pitted first. Next lap it was the 8. And this lap it will be Norman.
Oh, Dollerton came to 3, a little bump there.
Got a couple more staying out. Oh, caution! Oh, this is going to change everything.
We'll just have to see. Norman comes to pit road. He'll take the caution flag out on pit road. He should be able to stay on the lead lap, but man, it's probably going to be all kinds of messed up.
Yeah, the question is are some of these drivers that just pitted, are they going to be stuck behind the pace car perhaps?
It's looking like it so far. Oh no, those cars are on the lead lap.
Yeah, well, Mitchell Collins stayed out. He'll lead under the caution. William Brock, remember we saw that strategy he pulled? Well, he's up in second now.
Actually, I just thought about something else.
Oh, the leader just got plowed.
Oh my.
Okay.
No damage, right? It doesn't look like I see much damage on the 22.
Maybe on the rear, but I don't know how badly that would affect Mitchell Collins. Ryan Acosta ran right into the back of him. Oh, we got a spinner back there too. That's Jose Millz getting spun off the nose of. I think that was Dylan Poteet.
Dylan, what are you doing?
And now we got more cars with damage. Cole Baker, I see, has damage. Kyle Mathews has damage. Levi McIntyre's hood's all crunched up. What the heck went on?
Well, that's why we have replays.
That's exactly right. And Seth Cole led a lap by crossing the start-finish line on pit road. Rigged. Anyway. So I think the race lead is going to cycle around to, I think, Michael Norman, possibly. But we're going to have to wait and see.
No, I saw the 25 ahead of the 3 car.
But I agree with you, but he's a lap down. He's 36th right now. And Norman was scored 11th. So I think Norman's going to end up being the race leader, possibly, over J Dollerton. Like I said, the timing of that caution screwed everything up.
Yep. I wonder if that helped Zach Rogers. No, probably not, because it probably trapped him.
He came to pit road anyway.
Oh, did he?
Yep. Wow, Kyle Mathews' car is all torn up. Left side, right side, rear damage.
I blame Kyle Mathews.
So let me look and see. Yeah, Michael Norman scored the race leader. He's going to have, looks like about 8-9 cars that'll start ahead of him, possibly on the tail end of the lead lap. I'm not sure. We'll find out, since they're trapped behind the pace car. So Norman will be the leader when we go back green. We'll settle everything out for you in just a moment. For now, let's go back and take a look at the replay. Well, there's trouble in Ohio. This is what brought out the caution. And this was actually, I believe, for around inside the top 10, around the 8th position. Oh, and J Jefferson getting into the right rear quarter panel of Levi McIntire, sends him up into Kyle Mathews. Cole Baker also involved in that.
Nowhere for him to go.
Just blockaded up, and we're going to wait and see if anybody else gets damage from this, because I saw another couple of cars with damage coming down pit lane. Wyatt Quail goes through the grass. Yepez up top. Garcia gets through.
Go further up towards off the corner. That might be it.
There's Kyle getting into his teammate Charles Sandfer, and then Sandfer puts Kyle in the wall. They made it back to the line.
Okay, well then the rest have to be from stacking up, I'm guessing.
Oh, wait, yeah. Benjamin Miles through the grass, T Wright through the grass. And what a horrible timing of that caution for Benjamin Miles. Pitted from the lead, and now he's going to find himself on the tail end of the lead lap, I'm pretty sure. And possibly now out of the hunt for this victory. So that is what brought out the caution right in the middle of green flag pit stops. Let's go back for the restart. Not replay. Replay, restart. Green flag will come back out on lap 34 of 53. So that should give us 20 laps to go. Nobody out of the race after the incident we just saw. We do have 2 cars that are trapped a lap down. J Gardner in 39th, R Acosta in 38th. And we do have, I believe it is 8 cars starting ahead of Michael Norman that are now currently scored on the tail end of the lead lap. Those cars would include Ryan Butcher, Jordan Lopez, Jose Millz, Matthew Rodriguez, Trent Dunham, Keith Batson, Benjamin Miles, and Carter Friesen. So you're looking at Norman.
Norman's stuck behind the 25 again.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, except this time it's not for position. Green flag back in the air. So Michael Norman's the leader over Chris Dollerton, James Qualls, Carson Gum, Matt McIntire, and the rest of your top 10 are M Haas, Ryan Brommer, Julius Anderson, J Jefferson, and William Brock.
20 laps of racing to go.
This traffic will definitely play a factor, I have to think, because all these drivers up here, for the most part, are up to speed. As Norman now trying to put Carter Friesen down a lap. He's yielding that outside line, though, which might not be such a good idea. Chris Dollerton is up on the outside. If Norman can clear the 37, then he might be in good shape, and he does.
Oh, wow, Dollerton sliced it to the inside there.
Whoa, Carson Gum moving James Qualls out of the way for 3rd place. Dollerton looking pretty aggressive right now. Remember, he's looking for his 2nd win of the season as he drives it in deep. They're 3 wide ahead of the leaders. Oh, man. And remember, Michael Norman's looking for his 1st win of the season. For both of them, a victory could mean a spot confirmed in the playoffs. Oh, where do you go here with the 14 in the middle?
You would think the outside lane would be the preferred lane because of the run it gets, but lap traffic, once again, Chris Dollerton's going to take the lead.
Or is he? He might. Oh, wait a minute. Norman gets the run on the outside. He's hoping Keith Batson can get around the outside so he can get up there. Dollerton's still not able to complete the pass on Gardner. They're still 3 wide. Look at Qualls.
Dollerton's got the lead, though.
Yeah, he does. He does have the lead. That is true. Oh, J Gardner's not giving him any room down there on the bottom, though. And Dollerton still cannot clear the 14. James Qualls is right there as well if something happens. The thing that makes me nervous is we've seen them 3 wide a couple of times here today, and we've seen drivers get into each other's right rears. And I thought Gardner might get into the right rear of Dollerton, but Dollerton's going to clear the 14, so now he's in clean air. Well, not clean air, but he's got a little bit of distance between himself and now the battle for 2nd as Qualls is going to take that spot. Well, not quite. Here comes Norman again.
This time Norman finds himself on the outside lane.
Side by side for the 2nd position as Dollerton begins to close in on traffic again. Trent Dunham, Benjamin Miles just ahead. And we know that Benjamin Miles isn't going to move over for anybody, and he's got a strong car to be able to hold someone off, so there's no doubt about it. Dollerton's going to have his hands full with the 25.
Norman clear for 2nd. Dollerton now catching these lap cars here. Qualls back there. Surprised he got around ahead of Carson Gum, who all but moved him out of the way.
Look at this. Michael Norman, realizing that outside line's got the momentum, he's going to go in behind Trent Dunham in turns 3 and 4, see if he can get to the outside of Dollerton coming down to turn 1. I think the problem for Norman is the fact that he's able to get that outside line, but he's got somebody in front of him. It gets him boxed in.
Yeah. It's about what happens.
Now Norman going to switch from the high side to the low side, following the tire tracks of Dollerton as they'll both try and get by Trent Dunham. Meanwhile, they're racing ahead of him there. Matthew Rodriguez got trapped by that caution. He's right now in 34th, and remember, he came into this race in that final 16th spot in the playoffs. If Dollerton won, Matt Rod might, and that's just a big might, still have the 16th playoff position, but if someone like Michael Norman or J Qualls were to win, they'd be in, he'd be out.
Getting close here. We've got about 13 laps to go.
Yeah, there's still a lot of time to work with, so that's why I don't think we're seeing Michael Norman and J Qualls being quite as aggressive as they could be. I think Matt Rod might be trying to play some defense for his teammate there. He was blocking Chris Dollerton down the front straightaway.
Definitely trying.
I really think it's all a matter of who gets to that outside line. Look at Norman, 3 wide, puts Dollerton in the middle.
All Matt Rod has to do is hold him up.
Can Michael make it work is the question. They're side by side to the line.
We've seen the inside line 3 wide situation actually kind of prevail. He's still there going through the corner. We got 11 laps to go. Coming up on Benjamin Miles now.
Especially with the fact that through that corner, Miles was running the middle line, and now Miles is going to go 3 wide ahead of the leaders now. Oh, and look at this. Look who's trapped on that outside line. Ryan Acosta, who is slow and a little bit off the pace, and look who's going to be trapped on that outside line. That'd be Dollerton, so Michael might be able to use the 10 as a pick.
10 laps to go.
Michael Norman behind Benjamin Miles, but this time it's not for position. And Benjamin Miles could very well be leading Michael Norman through the inside line to the lead. And Norman says, I'm going to take you 3 wide.
Norman says, thank you, Benjamin, but I'll take it from here.
And Dollerton boxed in now. He drops back to second. Norman might be able to clear for the lead out of turn 2. Look at J
Oh, he
Qualls.
is clear for the lead. He's clear for the lead. He's just not clear of the lap cars.
Well, that's what I meant. Clear the lap cars. That's what I meant. My apologies. Look at Qualls. He's going to move into second place. Ooh,
Norman gets clear, and that's what all Norman needs to see behind him is side by side.
He's going to see more than that. He's going to see 3 wide. J Qualls to the inside of Dollerton. He's got his teammate on the top side, Ryan Acosta now. And Matt Haas in the 8, also on that outside line. How about Austin LaPlante? LaPlante was near the tail end of the field when we saw him last. Now the hometown boys up in the top 5.
These lap down cars playing into the hands of almost everybody that was in the top 10 on this restart.
There's another driver up in the top 10. J Shelly in 7th. Remember, he needs to get back in the top 30 in points for his win at Kentucky to count towards a playoff spot.
Well, I heard that J Shelly just signed a new insurance policy. In order for it to take effect, he has to win, so...
Well, I don't think that's going to happen, so that insurance policy, but you know... Michael Norman now has Benjamin Miles between himself and J Qualls, about 0.6 of a second back to the 11. Now having to deal with 2-time winner J Millz. I don't know if
a caution were to come out, that would more likely help the 3 than it would hurt him.
You're probably right.
Because you got to think, we're under 10 laps to go. Lap down cars would have to restart where they're at. Now, not on the inside lane, so that would put more cars between him and the 11.
That's actually a really good point, and you also bring up the fact, too, everybody would be bunched up, and there'd be less likelihood of being able to make a pass on the outside line.
Yep, if they just run like this, it might be good, or catching a car in front of them.
Now, Michael Norman making a pass on J Millz here. If I were the 3, I would ride in the 98's tire tracks, because you don't really want to be pinned on that inside line.
No, you don't. Not necessarily.
Wait a minute. Benjamin Miles, he might have gotten a good run off of turn 4. He's going to be to the outside of the 3, and here comes Qualls, and LaPlante, and Dollerton. This thing ain't over.
Not by a long shot. 5 laps to go. Who is that car up ahead?
I believe that's Jordan Lopez and Ryan Butcher.
They might have actually been, I think they pull everybody on the restart.
Yeah, I think they did too. I think they got away. I think what happened was they restarted ahead of R Acosta in the 10, who we saw had the buckle on his hood. He backed everybody up, and those two were able to restart ahead and drive away. Austin LaPlante, pass for second. That 48 is flying.
He's trying to get there. Norman's still battling with Miles. He needs to let him go.
And how about a couple of drivers that have popped up here late in the top 10? Jessica Shelton up to 8th place. Dylan Young up to 10th. Great runs for both of those cars. Oh no, Norman left the outside line open. LaPlante's gonna take it, and that's a teammate ahead of him in the 25. Miles might be trying to help his teammate win this race.
Qualls ducked it to the inside line though.
Can LaPlante get alongside of the 3 going into turn 3? Norman drives it in deep. Here comes LaPlante around the outside. Can he get him? It's going to be 2 to go at the line this time by.
Talk about the ultimate role reversal there. Matt Rod helped Norman get the lead earlier. Now it's another teammate trying to help Austin LaPlante get the lead.
LaPlante and Norman side by side into turn 1. James Qualls right there. He might think about 3 wide if he can get a big enough run down the back straightaway perhaps.
That might ultimately help the 3 car because the middle line's is a good line to be, and the 48 is clear of the 3.
Yes, he is. Now the question is, LaPlante's got to keep himself behind the 25. He does not want to go to the inside line and open up the outside line to Michael Norman. White flag in the air, 1 to go here at New Hampshire. Oh, Norman bumped him! Norman got into him! Michael trying to fight on the bottom. Can he stay alongside the 48? Not quite. Oh, wait a minute. LaPlante went low. He opens up the top side to the 3.
Can he get to it, though? That's the question. I don't think he'll have enough time.
I don't think he will either. It doesn't look like he's got enough momentum. Off turn 4 for the final time. The hometown boy's going to win in New Hampshire. LaPlante wins the Overtons 301. Holy cow.
I'm going to go cry in a corner.
You're gonna take a flight to Buffalo, New York and punch Benjamin Miles in the face. Because there is no doubt about it, Benjamin Miles, even though he had a shot to win this race and it basically got taken away by that timing of that caution, he was going to make sure a Northeast Motorsports car went to victory lane. That is the 3rd different driver from that team to win, and that is their 4th win as an organization. Would you like
I'll tell you. Man, I'll tell you, though, that was some good, intense racing.
Absolutely. So LaPlante's going to come away with the victory. So the Chevys finally put an end to the blue oval streak. Fords had won the last 3 races. So finally the Camaros get back in victory lane. Michael Norman will bring it home in 2nd place, though. I would think possibly, though.
That might jump him up in the standings.
Yeah, he came into the race, I believe, 25 points behind Levi McIntire and 9 points, I think it was, behind Matthew Rodriguez. We know Rodriguez didn't finish well, and Levi McIntire had a hood missing, and he's not even up in the top 28, so
47 minus 18. That's the difference.
The only thing I would wonder about, though, is we had another different winner today in Austin LaPlante, and James Shelly finished 6th, so he would move back in the top 30 in points. So we might possibly have all 16 spots currently filled by race winners. We'll have to wait and see based off of whether Wyatt Quail stayed in the top 30 in points or not.
That's true. We'll have to wait and see for sure.
But Qualls will bring it home 3rd. Dollerton, the good finishes continue for that team. He'll get 4th. Matt Haas in 5th. Shelly and teammate Carson Gum there, 6th and 7th. Shelton in 8th. Dylan Young 9th. And Adam Garcia, great run for the driver that comes in dead last in points. He will get a 10th place finish. You look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, and a lot of this basically got screwed up as a result of that timing of that yellow flag right in the middle of pit stops. And we had 33 cars finish on the lead lap. Miles was the last of those. R Acosta, Matthew Rodriguez, Trent Dunham, J Gardner, K Batson, and Carter Friesen. They finished a lap down, and only 1 car out of the race, That was the 42 of Vince Almriego. You see McIntire down there in 29th and Matt Rod in 35th. So it's going to be close, really close, I think, between McIntire, Rodriguez, and Norman as far as if a driver is still in the playoff grid via points as to who it's going to be. But what an unbelievable race here from New Hampshire. Michael, I want to thank you for joining me for this.
No problem. But at least we don't have very far to go to Watkins Glen, which is my next race.
That is true. First time in a long time that I've actually had a co-commentator here in the booth. Hopefully all the audio levels worked out and everything. Levies. Wingardium Leviosa. But hopefully everything worked out, and hopefully you guys all enjoyed this race. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. I know you didn't. These are your full finishing results, and these are your point standings heading into next week. Austin LaPlante, who came into this race 11 points, he's going to come away with the first victory of the season here in the Duracell Cup Series. And we will see you guys next week, as next week we're going back dirt track racing at DuQuoin. So until then, I've been Seth Cole. He's been Michael Norman. He is crying. And Michael Norman for Kleenex here. And we will see you guys.
What are you talking about?
Oh, that's true. My bad. And we will see you guys next time as you've been watching a production of the SRA Offline Racing at its best.
Chickens.